Good morning to all. Today we will start a new chapter of literature, chapter number 10, The Emperor and the Nightingale, written by Hans Christian Andersen. Now, introduction about author. Hans Christian Andersen was born in 1805 and he died in 1875. And he was a Danish author. Danish means he was from Denmark. He has written many different things, but the fairy tales he wrote became the most popular. A few of his popular tales are The Light Mermaid, The Ugly Duckling, and The Snow Queen. So now we'll read about the chapter. Now see here, one activity is given that you have to do. It's like list three natural and three man-made sources of light, discuss their advantages and disadvantages. So this you will do it yourself. Let us read a story about an emperor and two birds, one natural and the other man-made. Emperor means king. So this is a story about the emperor, and this emperor had two birds, and both the birds were nightingale, but one was like live creature and the other one was artificial. So the story I am going to tell you happened in China a great many years ago. So the writer is telling us the story, and this story happened in China many years ago. Now it is saying, the story is telling us that the emperor's palace was the most beautiful in the world. It was very beautiful. Why? Because it was completely made up of porcelain. Porcelain is a white substance made of clay which is used for making decorative things. So entirely here means completely. The palace was made of porcelain, and the palace had a garden with loveliest of flowers. Beautiful flowers were there in the garden. And beyond it means behind it, there was a forest with lofty trees. Lofty trees means very high trees were there in the forest that sloped down to the deep blue sea, and they were sloping down to the sea also, blue sea. In one of these trees lived a nightingale, and in one of these trees, a bird was living. The it was nightingale, and it sang so beautifully that even the fishermen who had so many other things to do, they would stop and listen to the songs of nightingale. Now travelers from every country in the world came to the emperor's beautiful city, and when they were just going up then and when they were just returning home, they wrote books describing the nightingale as the most beautiful of all. Like everything was beautiful in the emperor's palace, but most the thing which they liked most was the nightingale's song. Some of these came into the hands of emperor. Now when emperor was reading about all these things, he came to know about the nightingale, and he said, what is this? I know nothing of any nightingale. Something it appears maybe learned from books. He said maybe all these things have been learned from the books. So now, then he called one of his lords in waiting. Lords in waiting is what? A, lords in waiting are peers who hold office in the royal household of the sovereign of the United Kingdoms. Or in simple way, you can say they are noble person. They are noblemen from belonging to royal and noble families. And then he ordered to bring the nightingale to the palace. He said his nobleman that you should go and bring this nightingale to my palace. So when they went and they had words with Nightingale, the Nightingale said, "My song sounds best in the green woods." He said that I am singing the best song, and they are sounding best in the green woods. Woods means forest. And then they told the bird, and these words were said when the nobleman told the nightingale of the emperor's wish. What was the wish of the emperor? Emperor wanted that the nightingale should stay in the palace, but she still came willingly. Willingly here means readily. She was ready to come to the uh, emperor's palace. The palace was elegantly decorated for the occasion. It was like decorated for the event. Elegantly here means in a graceful and stylish manner, and occasion means event. The walls and floors of the porcelain glittered in the thousand light of a thousand lamp, and the walls and the floors were decorated with shining lights. Thousand lights were there. And in the center of the great hall, a golden perch was kept. It was fixed. Golden perch. Perch means a place for a bird to sit. The whole court was present. Everybody was there in the court because they wanted to hear the nightingale singing. So now this was how the nightingale was welcomed to the court of the emperor. The nightingale sang so sweetly that the tears came into the emperor's eyes and then rolled down his cheeks. And the song touched everyone's heart. It was very mesmerizing. It was like they all it was touching their heart. Now the king decreed means the order. The king decreed that nightingale should remain in the court. It should remain at the court, and they have and it nightingale should have her own cage and with liberty. Liberty means freedom. What was the freedom that was given, that was ordered by the king? That it could move twice a day and once during the night outside the palace. And 12 attendants were appointed to be with her on these occasions. And every time it was like during the occasions, 12 attendants should be there. And each held her by a silken string fastened to her leg. So now every attendant had tied a silken ring to the leg, and this was surely not feeling good for this bird. It was not like a happiness feeling of flying. Like a string was tied and it was allowed to fly, but when this nightingale was tied with this string, it was not giving him pleasure. Now, one day, what happened? This emperor he received a gift from the emperor of Japan, and what was the gift? It was an artificial nightingale, and it was covered all over with diamonds, rubies, and sapphires. These are all what? These are precious stones. So, as soon as the clockwork means made like a clock with springs and wheels. It was made like a clock and it has springs and wheels. What bird was wound up. It means it was made to work up. It started singing like the real bird, but without getting tired because it was an artificial bird, so it could sing for many hours and it was not getting tired because everything was mechanized in that. It was like a working model, or you can say it was a working toy, and it would even move its glittering tail up and down. Like when it was singing, along with singing, his tail was also moving up and down. This is very beautiful, exclaimed all who saw it. So everybody said, "Oh, what a beautiful bird this is!" And because it was singing also and it was moving its tail up and down, so everybody was like screaming with joy. So the artificial bird was placed on a silken cushion close to the emperor's bed. No one noticed that little grey nightingale when she flew out of the open window back to her own green woods. Now everybody was just watching that artificial bird. So during this time, nobody watched that when this little real nightingale, grey color nightingale, when she flew out of the open window and she was back to her own green forest. So now, when she went out, everybody blamed this nightingale only, real nightingale, and they said that she is a very ungrateful creature. Ungrateful means thankless. It means she did not thank the king, she did not thank the courtiers. Because what was happening, everybody was only looking after that artificial bird. They were always eager to listen to the music of that artificial bird, singing of that artificial bird. Now 5 years passed. This same thing was going on every day. This artificial bird was made to sing. The emperor listened to the clockwork nightingale so often that it broke down and could only be played once a year. Now the emperor was listening so much that it was like broke down. It broke down, and now only once a year it could be heard. Then a real grief came upon the land. Now, one day, what happened? There was a sorrow in the empire. What was the sorrow? The emperor fell gravely ill. The king was badly ill. One night, the courtiers thought that he would not live much longer. So now, one day, they thought now this king is not going to live much longer. So they went to pay homage. Homage means they came to pay homage to his successor. Successor is a person who has a job or a position or title after someone else. Now, music muddled the emperor as he lay cold and pale in his royal bed. So one day he started mumbling, like music. And mumble means to utter words in low, confused manner. Words which are spoken in a confusing manner. That means the meaning is not clear. But the bird remained silent. But that bird was not able to sing because it was an artificial bird and it was like broken up, so it was not singing. There was no one to wind it up. Wind it up means there was no one to close it. Suddenly there came through the open window, the sound of sweet music. And suddenly what happened? The king heard the sweet music from outside of the window. Outside on the bough of a tree, bough means branch. Outside on the bough of a tree sat the real nightingale. So who was singing outside the window? That real nightingale. You can see in the picture also. She had heard of the emperor's illness, and now this nightingale she came to know that the emperor is ill and had therefore come to sing to him of hope and trust. So, because of that reason, she came to him of wish and trust. And now, as she started singing, as she sang, the emperor was fell into a sweet sleep. The emperor had sweet sleep. When he woke up, he was strengthened and restored. Means he became stronger, and strength means he was like physically strength came back to him. The sun shone brightly through the window. Now he was feeling like I am stronger because the song influenced so much that he got like he just recovered from his illness. Now he said that you must remain with me, said the emperor. You shall sing only when it pleases you, and I will break the artificial bird into 1,000 pieces. So the king said that you should remain with me, and you will only sing when you are pleased, you are happy. You cause to fall happy means pleases means to cause to feel happy. So the king said that whenever you are feeling that you are happy, that time only you sing, and I am going to break that artificial bird. But the nightingale said, no, do not do that. I cannot live in the palace, but let me come when I like. The nightingale said, real nightingale, that I cannot live in this palace. I will only come when I like. So he said, you should not break that artificial uh, nightingale. And then she said that I will sit on a bough outside your window in the evening and I will sing to you all the things I see in the world outside the palace. He said that every evening or whenever I will like, I will come in the evening and I will sit on the branch outside the window and I will sing and tell you everything about about everything what I will see in the world outside the palace. But Nightingale said that you must promise that you will not tell anybody that you have a real little bird who tells you everything. So this was a promise which was to be made by the king. So saying, the nightingale flew away. The following day means the day after the one which is mentioned. When the courtiers returned, lo, there stood the emperor, and to their astonishment said, good morning. Lo is an exclamatory word which is used to draw attention to an interesting event. So now they were amazed, they were surprised that the emperor was like well now and he was standing. And then they were having a great surprise. Astonishment means, here you can see meanings. Following day means the day after one mentioned. Astonishment means great surprise. And law here means exclamatory word which is used to draw attention to an interesting event. So, to their great surprise, he said, good morning. Now, this is all about your chapter. Now, what is the moral of the story? The moral of the story is that nature offers more beauty variety, and power than the man-made mechanized world. Because see in the story you must have seen that that real word could sing anytime, but that artificial word when it was broken, it was not able to sing every day, it was only singing once a year. This is explained, illustrated means explained through the beautiful song of the real nightingale. The real nightingale song has the power to cure the emperor's disease as he lays at the point of death. Like he was gravely ill, like he was about to die, but the influence of this sweet song was so much that he grew more stronger and he was able to rule the empire again.